Hi everyone, my name is Jeff Starr, and this is a video about the left hand technique for the sitar. But a couple very quick basic things that I've probably said before and you've probably heard me say before. I am just a student. Now I have been taking lessons for 6 years and I try to practice as much as I can and I try to do the best job I can to be a good student and to learn, but obviously I'm not a master of this instrument. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a guru. I'm just a dude in New York City who's studying and doing the best he can at this instrument. If you want to learn the sitar, I really recommend that you find a real teacher. If you can't find one in your area and there's no one in your area, you can always take lessons online. There are various teachers that will teach you online. My teacher, for example, Ustad Ikhlaq Hussain, he will teach lessons online via Skype. There's information about that on his website, so you can contact him there if you're interested. The way to learn this instrument or to learn about Indian classical music in general is to always find a teacher. I know you've heard me say that a million times, and you're probably thinking to them, why do you still make these videos teaching this stuff or explaining this stuff? And the idea is I want to help inspire you, the viewers of these videos, to say, you know, I want to do that. And to go not be afraid of it. I think that one of my regrets is that I waited too long to start learning this instrument. I waited too long to start taking martial art classes. I waited too long to do a lot of things artistically that I just want to do. I waited too long to start making YouTube videos. I had a channel in 2006. I posted a few things here and there, but it was only until about 2 years ago that I started posting regularly. And why was that? That was stupid, right? So I want to help hopefully inspire you to do the creative things artistically that you want to do. Okay, with all of that said, let's just cut to the chase and talk about this left hand technique. So, some basic things. Hopefully you are sitting nice and properly with your sitar and you've gotten flexible, you can do these things. I have some videos about your right hand. I'm going to take my tuner off here, I don't really need that. And how to place your hand and thumb and do all this. There's videos about that. With your left hand, this is really a very exhausting instrument because this hand should not be supporting the weight of the instrument, but you have a lot of distance to travel. And so your arm can just get tired. And that's why one of the things I tell people who want to learn is just play your sargam or your scale for the raga you're learning. Most students start with Yaman. Right? If you do that a lot, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, you're going to build up just this general shoulder strength, posture strength, and that's the first fundamental you need to know. In terms of your finger, and hopefully you can see this on this GoPro here. I want to thank all the people who support this channel via Patreon. You directly paid for this GoPro camera, so hopefully this helps out. Okay, so your finger here. You're going to place it behind the fret. You're going to push down, but you're going to push enough to make contact, but not so much as to push the string out of tune. So I'm going to play the string. Okay, now I'm going to play it and I'm going to push too hard. You can hear that the string went sharp. You don't want to do that. There's enough tuning difficulties with this instrument as is. You don't want to push too light because you'll get a little buzz against the fret. Just like you would on a guitar, you get like a dead sound. You want a nice clean. And if your sitar is all in tune and your instrument is resonant, you'll hear those sympathetic strings ring out. Okay? Depending on your style, you're going to either use just 2 fingers or just 3 fingers. I'm going to focus on just these 2 fingers because that's going to be pretty universal what I'm going to talk about here. So it's 1 finger on 1 main playing string for like 90% of the melodies that you're going to play. So now I'm going to get to the octave, so which in this case sa to sa would be the next note, and I'm going to use the 2nd finger, and that's how I'm going to fret. Okay? And then, and you can see that this second finger now lifts up. And I'm back on that first pointer finger. Ka-chow, right? One of the habits that I have that I'm working on breaking is that sometimes I will get to this second finger and I will lift up this other finger. But you want to try to avoid doing that because it just slows you down, especially when you're trying to play fast passages, because you now have to put that finger back down to release the other finger. You have to do this like dance. You don't want to have to do that too much. That usually results because your callus on your finger is not strong enough. I don't know if you can see, but in the little bit of time that I've been playing here, I've gotten little lines on my fingers. Right? Hopefully that's in camera. Hi, peace, man. And that is the string cutting into your finger. You need to build up a callus. So now let's talk about that briefly. When trying to build up the callus on your finger, there's a couple things that you really need to know. One, the more you practice, the more it's really, that's the key. The problem that you will encounter is just pain and the inability to practice because your finger is hurting too much. I often joke and tell people that playing the sitar is like playing a wire cheese slicer. It really cuts into your fingers, especially if you're doing bends. So that is one of the things that you really do need to be thinking about, is just how are you going to get through that pain? Well, there's a couple things you can do. One is you can learn to tape your fingers with masking tape. Some people use Band-Aids to just really give you protection. I have a whole video about that. I won't go into that in detail now, but if you want to learn how to do that, I have a video about that. The thing about taping your fingers, and you really need to keep this in mind, is you play only with tape all the time. You'll never build up that callus. The tape can get in the way, it can fall off, it can make your fingers stick together. The tape doesn't really react well with oil, which leads to the next point. When you're playing, you can get a little bit of coconut oil, mustard oil. I found sesame oil sometimes works nice. Olive oil can be a little gummy with canola oil. Anyway, so you just a tiny bit on your fingertips, and you just glide it across the string just to get the string a little lightly oiled. And that will just help make your finger glide more easily. And this is really useful and helpful when you're building up speed in your left hand. I keep wanting to say right hand. So if I did anywhere, excuse me, in your left hand, or in your whole arm, really. If you're trying to play with oil and tape, that usually doesn't work so great in my experience. The gum, the glue, whatever, the stickiness of the tape and the oils, they don't sometimes always want to work together, and they start to get just sticky. Experiment, see what works best for you, but ultimately your goal is to play with no tape and just a little bit of oil. And then when you're done, wipe the excess oil off your strings. That'll keep them from getting sticky the next time you play. Another way you can build up your callus is, I'm dropping it, is there's a company in Germany. They make a thing called a string gym. And this is a little metal wire and a little piece of plastic here that you can squeeze all day long to your heart's content and really work a callus all day long. I love this. I have a whole video review about this. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a beginner. And the last thing, to build up that total arm strength, often I will put on a half-pound weight, and I will play long exercises, practice with this weight on, so that I have additional resistance on this arm. Not a lot, just a tiny bit, to just make my arm stronger, right? And then when you take this off, boy, you just feel like you're flying. I really find that's a helpful tool. But once again, just a very, very, very small, lightweight, nothing crazy. You don't want to screw up your shoulder because you're trying to slide around like 2 pounds or something. This is a ½ pound weight. Those are some basic things for your left hand. Remember, it's a single finger, then your second finger, and then back to that single finger. You only use that second finger when you are getting to the end of the phrase. You can see there I lifted up my finger, which is the thing I'm trying to work on not doing. I'm just keeping it to a simple exercise for now. So hopefully this video was helpful, useful. If you liked this, please check out other videos on my channel. Hey, my main camera ran out of space, so now it's just you and me, GoPro. So as I was saying before, if you like this video, please watch other stuff on my channel. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Tell me what other stuff you'd like to hear me talk about, what you want me to go more in depth about. I'm happy to do so. It's the viewers that are really helping to power the content on this channel. I really want to make stuff that you guys want to watch. Thank you so much for watching, and a huge thank you again to everyone on Patreon who helps support this. Without your support, I wouldn't have been able to buy this GoPro. So this is really thanks to you that this is even here. Alright, that's it for now. Bye. Happy practicing.